Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining once again a new publication of results of LatinNCAP. In this case is phase 9 of results, and as usual we are starting right now. The video was showing the vehicles that we have tested in this new publication. The Renault Sandero Logan, 2 airbags as standard, made in Brazil, Argentina and Colombia. That's the result is valid for all these vehicles. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, 7 airbags, made in Japan. Both cars are tested in the most basic safety spec. The Renault Sandero Logan, made in Brazil, Argentina and Colombia, and the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, made in Japan. The result for the Sandero Logan, 2 airbags as standard, is 1 star for adults and 3 stars for child occupant protection. We see now the color dummies, and we notice clearly the red color in the chest of the front impact of the driver, and also driver in the side impact. The structure was rated as unstable in the frontal impact, and the high compression in the chest of the driver explains the red chest and the low result for the adult occupant protection. The airbag, as we could see in the side of the passenger, the head impact area was quite at the edge of the airbag. We estimate with a higher passenger sitting there, probably the result would have been different. This is something else that was criticized in the assessment of this vehicle. Regarding the child occupant protection, the seats were installed using the seat belt and not the ISOFIX, which is optional in this car, unfortunately. In both cases, the seats in the frontal protection offer good protection for both child dummies. We're watching now the top view of the frontal crash, and now we are starting to watch the movie on the side impact protection. The side impact structure actually showed some penetration, and it was not able to really offer a proper energy absorption, even if the car has side protection bars. Anyway, energy absorption was not good enough to prevent injuries in the adult dummy. The child dummies on the side impact were protected in a good way, good levels of protection, despite not being anchored or adjusted or installed using the ISOFIX anchorages. Door opening was something else that was criticized in this test. We are now watching the result of the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, 7 airbags as standard. It's 5 stars for adult and 3 stars for child occupant protection. As you can see, the color dummies are almost all of them are green, with just a slight exemption of adequate protection yellow on the chest of the driver. Structure in the frontal impact performed in a stable way. Also the airbags, not just the body airbag, but also the knee airbag for the driver performed or showed a good protection for the driver and also for the passenger side. The car offers in a standard version the pretensioners as well, and all the systems explain the good protection for the frontal impact of the adults. We are now starting to watch the inside camera of the child occupants. Child occupants, unfortunately, this car didn't use child seats with ISOFIX due to the availability of these child seats, and for that reason the child occupant performance wasn't as good as expected when you're using an ISOFIX anchorage system. We are now watching the top view. Now the side impact of the Eclipse Cross, good protection offered by the side airbags and the curtain airbags as well to the adults. We're now going to watch the side impact top view from the front. You can see the airbags deploying and offering good protection to the adult occupants. From the rear, even if the dummies, the child occupants are not installed in their child seats using ISOFIX, they still showed good protection in the side impact. And this, once again, is a remarkable result of a good car developed with proper side impact protection, side impact restraint systems. And we are now starting to watch the pole impact of the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. You see the curtain airbag offering good protection to the head of the adult, and from the top view now we see also the curtain airbag together with the body airbag, that both deploying in a proper way and timing offer good protection to make a pole impact scenario a completely green dummy for the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, which is very desirable and a very good result. Now we're watching the ESC testing, ESC off. We see the stability of the car actually, the car in the spin-off condition. Now we are watching the ESC on, the ESC system on, and the car behaved and passed the regulatory requirements. Therefore, ESC was approved for the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Summary of results. Renault Sandero Logan, 2 airbags as standard, 1 star for adult occupant protection and 3 stars for child occupant protection. Regarding the adult occupant of the Sandero Logan, we noticed the poor protection for the chest in the front and side impact, and we highlighted the instability on the surviving cell in the frontal crash, as well as the poor performance of the structure in order to absorb energy on the side impact for the adult protection. For the child occupant protection, we rated the car with 3 stars, and the main highlights were the lack of isofix anchorages as standard. This is an optional equipment, and also the lack of 3-point belts in all sitting positions. Even those child seats were used with seat belts from the adult seat belts in the rear. The protection was acceptable to good. It is important to highlight as well that the Renault Sandero tested last year in the most basic version in South Africa by Global NCAP showed 3-point belts and isofix anchorages as standard. And unfortunately, we don't have this case in Latin America yet. About the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, it's a 7 airbag car as standard, and the 7th airbag is for the driver's knees. The car was rated with 5 stars for the adult occupant protection, showing almost all green dummies, which is very desirable. Regarding the child occupant protection of the Eclipse, although the Eclipse Cross offers 3-point belts in all sitting positions, very good also acceptance of most of the child seats in the installation, and also isofix anchorages and 3-point belts for all occupants. Even in that scenario, unfortunately, due to the lack of availability of child seats with isofix systems, the child seats selected by the manufacturer in this test were child seats without isofix, and the performance that these child seats showed in the frontal impact were quite low, and that explains the 3-star rating for the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross regarding child occupant protection. That is all for this latest publication of results of LatinNCAP. We thank you very much for keep following us. We thank you very much for joining our publications as well. The next publication is expected by July this year, so in a few weeks away. Thank you once again for joining, and before we say goodbye, we would like to acknowledge our main funders, Bloomberg Philanthropies, FI Foundation, Global NCAP, ICRT, and IADB. Thank you very much, and until the next publication. Bye-bye.